Today we go over Star Wars Episode 9, the final film of the sequel trilogy. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, J.J. Abrams is indeed directing the final film of the sequel trilogy. It's a big task, a very important task, in order to wrap up the entire sequel trilogy and the entire Skywalker saga at that. And this is what a lot of fans have been thinking about, is on exactly how well will J.J. Abrams be able to wrap up the entire sequel trilogy for Star Wars Episode 9 when it comes to our characters Rey, Kylo Ren, Finn, Poe, you name it, and some of even the new characters as well. However, you guys may have heard something that a lot of people were talking about a couple of days ago, of J.J. Abrams possibly rewriting Star Wars Episode 9, certain parts of the movie here and there, not the entire film, as a response to the overall Last Jedi backlash, and this was actually handed down by Disney and Lucasfilm, etc., to prevent any further, big, messy situations within the Star Wars franchise and the Star Wars community alike. Now, we do have a little update on this, and apparently J.J. Abrams may be rewriting the ending of Star Wars Episode 9, and this is a direct response to that of The Last Jedi backlash. Now, we saw something similar in a sense with Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, but mind you, that was all done through reshoots. They actually added in the whole entire Darth Vader scene and the Leia scene, etc. It seems as though that they may be doing something very similar to that with Star Wars Episode 9. Now, the thing is, a lot of people use these words against JJ, is that he's a great fixer, but not a good closer. And that's what's leaving a lot of people feeling very anxious with Star Wars Episode 9, is exactly how will J.J. Abrams wrap up the entire Skywalker saga. I mean, this is a huge thing for any director or writer to actually take on. It really is. It's a huge task. You really got to get it right, and you got to do the right things, I feel, to really satisfy a majority, not all, but a majority of Star Wars fans around the world. Now, I don't know what the original ending was, if he is to rewrite the ending and include a new one in the script to be filmed later, this year into early 2019. This movie's going to take a little bit longer than The Last Jedi from what I take, because this film is going to have the most characters in this movie, it's going to have the most planets in this film, so that means a lot of actors and actresses and a lot of different set designs to build, etc. So I could see why the production of this film would be more spaced out than that of The Last Jedi. If you guys recall, The Last Jedi filmed from, I believe it was mid-February all the way over to late July. And I think that with Episode 9, we could very well see it stretch all the way out to January or maybe even February. Because right now they're only doing a lot of light sequences, a lot of light shots here and there. Not heavy stuff, including, Kylo Ren and Rey. A lot of that stuff will begin in August, but some of it will actually begin next week with Daisy Ridley and, of course, Billy D. Williams as Lando Calrissian. However, with J.J. Abrams quite possibly rewriting the ending of Episode 9, how would you guys feel about this whole entire shift from The Last Jedi backlash, it seems? Because it seems like Disney is now recognizing that it's way more than that of just a minority, and that they see that the hardcore fans really are the glue, right? That really binds everything together, because I feel like the hardcore fans are the group of people, the group of Star Wars fans that go ahead and see these movies multiple times, like 6, 7 times even. A lot of them out there do see them that much, and they are the people who buy the merchandise, they buy the Blu-rays. I mean, the list goes on and on. And that is where they're getting most of their money from, and I think that's why you saw a big dip with Solo: A Star Wars Story, is because of The Last Jedi backlash and the Solo boycott. A lot of the hardcore fans weren't really seeing that movie multiple times. I know I will say myself, I saw Solo: A Star Wars Story once in theaters, and that was it. And I'll probably watch it again once it comes out on Blu-ray. But I only saw it once in theaters. Mind you, that was the least amount of times that I saw a Star Wars movie in theaters, since, way back since Episode 1 came out in theaters. I wasn't really around when, you know, obviously the original trilogy was out, so... But looking at Star Wars Episode 9, guys, how do you feel about all these different changes that are being made in response to The Last Jedi backlash, etc.? To me, I think it sounds like it's great news, as long as it's done right. I hope that it's not going to be, you know, too out there where it gets a little ridiculous, but I think that at the very end of this film, to do things proper, to do things right, is to really capture the Skywalker saga feel. Have Anakin Skywalker and Luke Skywalker beside each other as Force Ghosts. We actually did a little discussion video on this a couple of days ago and why this would be a great thing. We got a reunion between both brother and sister in The Last Jedi. Why not a beautiful reunion between father and son at the very end of Episode 9 in the form of Force Ghosts or whatever other way that they could think of? I think would be very magical. And then you could have Yoda and Obi-Wan appear, maybe in front of Rey in another scene. They could do all of these different things to really make this movie feel at home and connecting to not just the prequels but also the original trilogy, but while also Episode 9 staying as an original film and in and on itself. See, that's the thing with The Last Jedi. I feel like that there were a lot of disappointing pieces in that movie. I feel like that Canto Bight should have been completely scrapped and replaced with more Luke Skywalker stuff, training Rey, speaking about the Force, you know, learning more about the lore, and in a sense, a lot of fans would learn more about the Sith, etc. Maybe even, you know, Luke's new generation of Jedi. Just learning all of these different things on film, I think would have been a whole lot better than learning it in a book or a comic book or something around those lines. So the fact that Disney, Lucasfilm, JJ, it seems as so that they are all responding to The Last Jedi backlash. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.